All right. Hello, hello, chat. Oh,
Chat.
I can hear myself. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hello, hello, everybody. For anyone who is confused as to why I'm streaming right now, and I pinged the Blade Bias channel in my Discord, that's because I just got done finishing a live, well, I shouldn't say finishing, it's because I just got kicked off of a live stream over on the Blade Bias channel because my camera died much earlier than it was saying that it was going to. And I felt a little bad about that, so I figured I would do a, albeit a little shorter live stream over here on the main channel so that some of the Blade Bias people can come over and see what we're normally all about over here. But for anyone who is a regular of my streams, it'll just be a normal stream. So here we are. What is up, Jesse, Tony, Alive, Hawaii, Hop? How you guys all doing? Let me get the camera going here because we have a little bit of a different camera angle today that I'm trying out. So, hello. How we doing? This is more reminiscent of the old apartment and actually shows you what my desk looks like nowadays, which is a little bit of a mess. And this isn't really what it always looks like. This is a little bit staged, but it is kind of what it looks like. If you take away this display right here, that's pretty much what my desk looks like nowadays. So a little different, but pretty much the same exact camera angle from the old apartment days. I hope you're all having a good week. I hope you're all having a good whatever it is, wherever you are. As I said before, coming hot off the heels of a Blade Bias live, which I'm doing for the first time in a long time. I just get back onto my main account over here. Go. We did a Blade Bias live, and my camera isn't here for some reason. There we are. Oh, and it's, hold on. Hold on. Transform, flip horizontal, and then we want to change how this is. Do this and this. That and this and that, and there we go. Now we're back to normal. Yeah, we did a little bit of a Blade Bias live, which didn't go the best. I didn't realize, I had some people saying in the chat that the stream was a little bit fuzzy. I didn't realize that this is what they meant by fuzzy, because this is like almost incomprehensible. But this was basically just a little bit of a live stream where I did in a Blade Bias format. So with my head mounted camera, we answered a few questions in the chat. And then at the very end, I checked my camera battery and it told me, hey, you've got 24% or whatever. But it started like doing the thing where it shakes around all the time. So I knew it was running a little bit low. I just didn't realize how low, because the second that I brought it up and I mess with the camera a little bit, I walk over here, stand around talking to chat for 10 seconds. I wish I had the foresight to just say, hey, see you later. And then it dies. And it wouldn't come back up. I tried to restart the stream, but when my camera dies, it's like an old iPhone. You need to, just now realizing that my camera's upside down. Not upside down, but it is. This camera angle's fine. I'm not gonna mess with it. And then it ended, and I felt bad. My friend won't stop talking about Silksong this week. Dude, Silksong this week. I'm actually excited. I'm actually so excited. It's gonna be sick. I'm gonna buy it day one, and I'm not gonna play it because I haven't beat the original Hollow Knight yet. But that's our backstory. Go through Discord really quick just to make sure everything's working. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, I bought Hollow Knight last week that I could beat it and play Silksong whenever I do. I've owned Hollow Knight for the longest time, and I told myself I was going to beat it once they announce it. And then they announced it was coming out in like 2 weeks. I was like, oh, well, that's not enough time. That's not enough time. Haven't beat the OG Hollow Knight. Yeah. Yeah, I've had OG Hollow Knight for a few years now. But today, should I lubricate my plates or sell my ceramic plate V4.5 anodized cracker racket? Lubricate your plates. That's an interesting one. Quickly climbing up to be one of my favorite games. Oh, the original Hollow Knight's fantastic, and I'm sure Silksong will be no different. Also, $20. Holy shit. Bro, we gotta play Peak again. 2042, that would be fun to play with you. Yeah. I need to freaking need to reinstall Windows if I want to play 2042, unfortunately. But I gotta do it sooner or later. Peak, though, we gotta get you to the Peak, Brandon. We do have to do that. God damn it. So I didn't realize, Brandon, how bad the stream looked earlier. Yeah, I didn't realize how bad everything looked. I had done Blade Bias Live once before, and it didn't look great, but it looked fine. But that stream earlier looked like I was building it in Minecraft for every frame. Squid CS, if you are here, thank you very much for the subscription. Really need to update that so that it's not so generic, but it is usually just not worth it because people don't subscribe that often. Well, I'm live, I should say. People do. Well, I mean, this channel, people don't subscribe often, I guess. Ooh, excuse me. Unfortunately, it seems that I have not captured the Blade Bias people who were there before, so this stream is just going to end up being a very normal stream, but that's okay. That's okay. Can't underestimate how many of those viewers come from just, like, seeing a notification. I thought the stream looked fine. You thought it looked fine? Maybe it's still processing then, because when I look it up, it does not look fine. Here's what it looks like for me. About that. It's like horribly pixelated. And this is on 1080p. I had like 30 or 40 average viewers, I think. I cannot believe people stuck around that long when the stream looked like this. It's obviously not high enough bitrate, but I can't control the bitrate. I'm streaming from my camera to my phone, and then my phone is broadcasting that signal to YouTube through an app that the camera people made. The camera people, through the DJI app. And it just doesn't look good. I dropped by for a sec, I didn't notice anything. So did you guys' stream not look like this? Or maybe you just didn't notice it. If you're on a phone, I can understand why you wouldn't notice it. This might actually look not the worst on a phone, but it does look the worst on a computer monitor. It's definitely Minecrafty, yeah. I watched on an iPad. It is also possible that some people just aren't as sensitive to stuff like that. Like, they see this and they can see the shape, so they think it's fine. Yeah, just very, very crunchy. And it's in a way that the old blade, because I've done a few blade bias lives. One of them was with Ty. Obviously we can't do this anymore, but the other one was the same thing, and it doesn't look good, mind you, but it doesn't look as bad. So maybe it was just some messed up setting that I had. Like, this doesn't look great, don't get me wrong. This is still not the best, but it is much better than the current stream that we did today. I wish there was a better way. I wish I didn't have to go through, because I'm going through the DJI app, like I said, to stream this. I wish I didn't have to do that, but the camera is very inflexible with what it lets you do. Like, I can't plug it into my computer and use it as a webcam. And I don't have the technology to strap a phone to my head, so I can't do it that way. Then I wouldn't even have anything to look at chat with, so I don't know how best to fix it. Maybe I'll do some testing. Maybe it's just not even worth it. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I wish there was a better and easier way to communicate with the Blade Bias audience, but I mean, I guess I could do YouTube community posts, but that just doesn't, I don't know. I hate community posts. I don't think they really do much. Use them to kind of just let my audience know that I'm alive. Yeah, it just, you're not going to get the same reach. I'd want to reach the people that actually watch that stream, which is just impossible, and a community post would not do. I would just want to see, like, I would want to get ideas on if people think it's worth it to continue. Like, do people like the format? And then if they do like the format, do they care about the quality? If it is kind of Minecrafty, do they give a shit? Because a lot of people probably don't. I'd venture a bet and say 75% of people watching that stream didn't notice anything wrong. So is it even worth trying to find a new way? I don't know. I wish there was some easy way to do that, but I'm not live there anymore, so I can't. Unfortunately. I do get the whole, you know, let my audience know I'm still alive, though. It's a good way to use them. It was definitely low bitrate, but what can you do with a live stream with a wide angle camera? I don't even think that's the issue, because the thing records fine. I think the problem is the lack of control, because when I go live on that app, there's no way for it to set the bitrate. There's no way for me to set the bitrate, I should say. And I didn't see an option like that in the YouTube control panel. So it's just, they're using a streaming, their encoding software is just very, very low feature. It has a very low feature set. Especially since my vids take a while to make, I want to give them something feels like I abandoned a bit. That's what you get with YouTube. Sometimes you're gonna have to leave to make a masterpiece. Usually, hopefully, people won't have an issue with that. Whoops. At the end of the day, it's a live stream. We're not there for production quality, just to hang out. That's what I want to see, if that is a universal belief, because I do know there's a few people who, if you can't see what's going on, you're just not interested in being there at all. Because I agree with you. Who cares about production quality as long as it's at a very minimum watchable? So like the old Blade Bias Live that we were looking at, that's right on that line where it's like, okay, I don't care about quality. I'm just looking to hang out. Like this quality, it's not high quality by any means, but it's good enough that I can just, my brain can ignore it. Also, man, I wish I could go back to my case looking that clean. Are you kidding me? It's low quality, but it's high quality enough that my brain could probably forget about it. Whereas this one, I feel like if I'm watching someone who has this level of blurriness, it's gonna take me out of it a little bit. But I don't know. That's why I want to poll and see if that's something that people are, if that's like a universal thing. I didn't care much. Okay. I got a confusing story. I had a Squiddy, then a Squiddy AL. Now a year later, I lost my AL because now I want a new belly. That's not much of a confusing story. I want an Orion, but I'm not sure when it'll be back. Are you the same person in the Discord? There was someone in the Discord who added me about this exact story, basically. They had a Squiddy AL, they lost it, now they're back. Yes, it is you. I gave you my opinion, man. The Orion, run it. It's still available. Keep an eye out for stock notifications from LDY. What's up, Ethan? Have you flipped a BRS Hex? If so, what did you think? I have not flipped a BRS Hex. My fault? No, you're good. Just if you missed it, I did weigh in on that. The Orion is still available, and based on your preferences with the Squiddy AL, it's probably the best choice for you. In fact, they just sold an Orion on their Instagram story, I want to say like 2 days ago. So keep an eye out. Balisongs are unfortunately not to the point where you can just have things always in stock. But some companies do. You could look into Nabali's stuff. Is the kite comparable to the Orion? The kite is much more heavy and much more handle biased, which is not what you're looking for based on your experience with the Squiddy AL. If that sounds like something that you're interested in trying, then you can run it, but it is the Orion at least is going to give you a similar balance to what you had before, whereas the Kite AL I think is a very different experience. Flip the Script episode 2 was 3 weeks ago. I gotta do Flip the Script episode 3. I also was okay with the Vulp. I had fun flipping a friend, so I do like Nabali's. Do they have a $100-ish similar one? I mean, they have the Vulp. The Vulp is probably the most similar thing to the Squiddy AL. But they have the Cheese. They have the Reverie. Plus the Orion has zippy inserts to change the balance too. Very true, yeah. Like I said, I think the Orion is what you're looking for. If you are a patient person, run it. But if you're impatient, Nabali's has plenty of options that you can go for that are probably ready to ship right now. Thoughts on the glider pocket knife? It gave me... I saw that they announced it, and I clicked into the sales page. And I was like, if this is like $50, I'll buy one. And then it came up and it was $35, and I was like, oh, it actually is $50. I might get one, I might not. I don't know. The thing that is really holding me up is it is a small knife, which is sick. It's a small little, I think it's small at least. I don't know what the scale is, but it looks like it's a small knife with a liner lock, and that just kind of pisses me off because if it's small, it's already going to be fiddly. So sticking my finger to deal with a tiny little liner lock, it just, I don't know. If it was a button lock, it could have been like $60 and I probably would have ordered one immediately, but I just don't know how I feel about a small scale liner lock. I hate liner locks. I hate it so much. Glider Moab is pretty nice to flip as well. I've heard good things. I've heard good things. So now my internet's giving me shit with OBS. Glider. Let's take a look. Glider. Do they have any Moabs in stock? No, they don't. Oh, that's not good. I was kind of thinking maybe I'll pick up a Moab. Huh. The Fiji Mini. It's a pretty cheap little guy. I can't deny it. I think this is G10. It says titanium handle, but that's very clearly G10. Probably just get... Do I like the look of this? I just hate the frame lock design. It's just... What's the size of this thing, actually? Do they have, like... Yeah, they do. Overall length, open length, 4 inches. It's very small. Closed length, 2.5 inches. So we're looking at, like... about the size of this. This is like... maybe this is even bigger than it is. Four inches open is like that. Be about that big open. So open, it's a little bit bigger than this thing. Why am I unable to remember this thing's name? Wow, I'm completely blanking on the name of this stupid little thing. But closed, it's a little bit smaller. So, yeah, but just the thought of getting my finger in there with a freaking frame lock, I don't like it. Also, I like how they say handle material. Titanium with or without single G10 scale. What? What? Yeah, it's a small little guy. Look at that thing. But like 34 bucks for a full titanium little knife like this is a pretty damn good deal. It is a damn good deal. Maybe I should just get one. I don't know. This thing, what? I seriously can't think of the name. Brandon, what is this called? I'm completely drawing a blank. The Zero. Holy shit. I was thinking, for some reason I was thinking the Re8 Exo, and I know for a fact that's not what that thing's called. That's not what this is called. The Zero. The Zero's kind of satiated my want for like an actual knife. It has been the best thing ever to just carry around and cut open boxes with or break down boxes with. It really is just my ultimate box cutter. I don't really know if I need another knife, but full titanium for 34 bucks, it's such a good price. I am proud of Glider though for running over and making a folding knife, because they know that it is going to sell probably better than their Balisongs. Maybe, I don't actually know. It might sell better than their Balisongs. Zero destroyer of boxes. True. That is exactly what it is. How's the Orion 1.5 compared to the Barracuda? I mean, I obviously like the Barracuda better, but it's more than double the price of the Orion, so you're looking at a completely different price tier. For price to performance, I like the Barracuda better, but I think the Orion edges it out for price to performance. I think it's very, very difficult to compete with LDY in general for price to performance, but the fact that a Canadian manufacturer is able to even get close with the Barracuda, I mean, maybe that's enough for you to edge the Barracuda out, but I really do think the Barracuda is the better flipper, personally. Earthquake! I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. I'm just trolling you a little bit. I'm all for a barfly. I am too. My budget is 100. Well, that kind of answer, like, that should answer your question. If you only want to spend 100, you should probably go with the Orion. I get the temptation to up your budget a little bit, but it might be more wise to do the responsible thing and stick with what you were planning on spending originally. Probably for the better, yeah. You had a budget for a reason. It's probably best to stick with it. I need the money to live. Yeah, and Balisongs shouldn't come before food on the table or a roof over your head. Especially in modern times, gestures wildly at everything. Could find some deals on Valley Market. I don't know offhand the secondhand price of a Barracuda. Maybe you'd be able to find one under 100 secondhand. You don't really see a lot. I don't see Barracudas that often on Balisong sale. Let's actually give Balisong sale a little look. Let's give it a little look-see. As I fail continually to make my hair go the way I want it to. Balisong Market V2. What do we got? Sure, I could find one for 110. The thing about Balisong secondhand is that secondhand prices are either very similar to retail or they're like cratered in half. It just depends on the Balisong. Whoa, that is a throwback. The frickin' glider Bermuda. Oh, that's... You remember when this was like the thing that came out and everyone was like, oh my god, it's so cheap. Man, that's a throwback. A swordfish. EX10. Think Machinewise will ever come out with another version of the Prisma or the Pro? I doubt it. I wouldn't hold my breath. What the oh, they're clones. My brain was collapsing in on itself, trying to figure out how this titanium Kraken, oh wait, it's not titanium, how this Kraken trainer was $30 plus shipping. Impulse has entered the chat. That it has. Some sort of rep. The blade. See, this is what I was talking about. Sometimes the price is just crater. This was a $450 retail Balisong, I think. This is the Sparrow, no? The BA Bally Sparrow. I wonder what BA Bally's is up to. I haven't heard from him in a while. And by I haven't heard from him, I mean I haven't seen him post in a while. No prices. Holy shit. 650 euros? How much is that to USD? 750 US dollars? Oh my god. Holy hell. I think that was a euro. Not well versed in my money signs. BA posted his Nakiri Proto on the Facebook market for $2,500. Oh my god. What a tool. Holy shit. Bro is delusional. That is delusional that he thought he could get that much for it. Dude, people wouldn't even pay retail for a Nakiri nowadays. Ooh, an Empusa. I want to buy an Empusa. Never mind. That's a good price. SlifT trainer. Those are cool, but that's wanna buy. Oh, an Icarus. I would love to have an Icarus. Another Sparrow. See, these are just BA Bally's. We've got a Tesseract and a Sparrow. I don't even know what this is. And then a Telesto. But it's cool to see the... Did I say Sparrow? No, the Icarus. It's cool to see the Icarus. Silver Kite Beta, 180. 180 is a fantastic price for a kite. We haven't even seen a BB Barfly thing yet. Oh, speak of the devil. BB Barfly Mint. That is a V2 with the Barracuda blade. For 85 euro. Cygnus, cool to see. Another EX10. The same EX10. GA. Someone trade me a Prisma Pro. Will trade 2 for 1. For a Prisma Pro, huh? There is nothing there that I would want. Always have to look at it a little bit. If someone looking for a knife that I have, I always have to at least look. Want to trade for a Sasori. The new Kraken. What blade? Ah, it's a Bowie. Don't care. SlifT. SlifT Gaboon, and it looks like an Opus V2 with a SlifT blade. Another SlifT V2. I'm honestly kind of surprised to see SlifTs going around their old retail price. I really thought they would have like doubled in price after Machinewise discontinued them. All of Machinewise old products, I really thought they would have went up, kind of like the Marin did. But it seems like they're staying pretty steady around what they sold for, because the SlifT originally sold for 3... Oh no, I guess anodized was 415. So unanodized was like 380. So I guess that is a pretty decent price increase. Everyone seems to be wanting Sasoris lately. If I see a good offer for a Sasori, I would be absolutely willing to sell mine. I just don't use it that often. Oh, an Opus V1. would love an Opus V1. The cool Anno too, the silver and blue is freaking sweet. Vault Pro with dyed scales. Are Sasori's coming back up in popularity? I'm in the same boat about the Sasori. I absolutely think that the Sasori is one of the most premium feeling Balisongs Machinewise has put out, and therefore one of the most premium feeling Balisongs in the hobby, period. But I just don't flip mine like ever. And if I didn't engrave it with Blade Show 2024, like if it wasn't my Blade Show souvenir from that year, probably would have I probably would sell it. Or wait, is it 2020? Did I get it 23 or 24? It was 24. Because the year before that, I got the Karambit trainer. The year before that was my Kraken. Very unfamiliar with LDY. When they do drop the Orions again, how many trainers would they do at a time? I don't know. They just kind of release stuff whenever. Balisong companies are not the most transparent with how many units they have. Squid Industries used to do a full breakdown every week for like, here's how much is going to be in the drop. But that's really the last time that we ever saw something like that. I really want the Cygnus AL. The Cygnus AL is fun. Fun little Balisong. Good price, too. If I remember correctly, it's priced around a Kraken. That's why I can't seek mine. A friend and I traded Sasori handles. I have an orange production handle and a purple pre-production. Yeah, mine's a pre-production, so people probably wouldn't want it anyway because it isn't compatible with any of their other blades. But I got it for under 200 bucks, which is really what I care about. That's why I love Squid. They seem so consistent with their drops. Squid is one of the only current consistent droppers because I think they still do weekly drops. They just don't announce it anymore. If I could trade my Orca for that, I would. I am positive someone out there who owns a... Because that trade is heavily in their favor. I'm positive someone out there with a Cygnus AL would make that trade. Very positive. So Chad, are we rocking with the camera angle? I'm trying to figure out my main camera angle because this camera angle I think looks better than my typical one in this room. The problem is you're all the way over there, so it's difficult for me to look at the camera, or at least look like I'm looking at the camera. As opposed to... So there's this camera angle, which was trying to recreate my old... This is literally me green screening myself into my old apartment. This is my old apartment. It's just a very early camera angle of my old apartment. So that's what this camera angle is mostly recreating. And then this is my main camera angle, which is, I think I do like the current one better. I could just sell it and get a new Cygnus or something. You could do that too. It would just, I think it'd be easier if you just trade it 1 for 1, because people would be feeling like they won in that one. I was messing with the Kite AL, took out the end screws, and it was a bit better. Interesting. The problem with that is that the scales won't, or those screws, I'm so sick of dropping my Balisong. The problem with that is that those screws are holding on the scales, so the scales wouldn't be on there as securely. You can see your transformers better. You can see less of them better. And you can see the one that I have remained, that has remained in box for like 2 or 3 weeks now, because I want to save the excitement. I'm rocking. Yeah, I don't know. What I really prefer was when my camera was right here from my old setup, like my old setup in this room, the original podcast angle. Because then I would put chat here, and when I looked at chat, it would look like I was looking at the camera because it was right there. But the problem with that angle is I can't do it with this current desk setup. It's a whole thing. Valorant? I don't play ranked Valorant. I literally only play unrated with my friends when they're on. It is pathetic, though. I would probably still be silver or gold. I played Valorant for 5 years now, and I'm probably still fucking silver or gold, because I just don't care to learn how to properly play the game. I just want to run it down mid and get headshots. Could not care less to learn the actual Valorant gameplay. I just want to run it down like it's a COD lobby. Not actually run it down like it's a COD lobby, but, you know, just ego peak and be a crazy person. Play unrated and have a good time. Literally, yeah. Rocket League might be worse, though. I got back into Rocket League, and the game has just been atrocious. It has been one of the worst games for my mental health, period. Because I come from Rocket League back when I peaked at one of the highest ranks that you can get. And since I played, they've added more ranks above that. And now whenever I play, I get... Like, I'm not the greatest, but I have played enough games that it would have kicked me out of my rank if I didn't deserve the current rank that I'm in. And almost every time I play, I get someone shit-talking the absolute fuck out of me. And I have to sit there and be like, dude, I'm the same rank as you. I'm playing 2s solo, so I'm not being carried here. If I didn't deserve this rank... the game would have deranked me. I would have been losing all my games and it would have deranked me. But these people will just be like, yeah, you fucking suck. And you just have to sit there and take it, because it's like, dude, you're the same rank. We're the same skill level. What are we doing here? And oh my God, it was so frustrating. There is no... I am starting to believe, besides COD players, there are no video game players that have a worse mental game than Rocket League players. You miss one shot, you hit the ball wrong one time, and your teammate will stand still and do nothing but shit talk you in chat while they watch you 2v1. They will bomb their own rank just to make it seem like they're sticking it to you for the crime of making a mistake, I guess. League players too, but I've never played League, so I can't. Of the games that I have played, Rocket League players have the weakest mental I have ever encountered in a video game. It's insane. How would you rate the Stitch V2 by Bandage compared to the other TI Balisongs? Because I'm planning to buy a Stitch V2. Stitch V2 is good. You'll enjoy it. Far from my favorite titanium Balisong, but absolutely far from the worst as well. What's up, Elite? How you doing? The Finals is by far my new favorite FPS game. Give it a shot sometime. I played the Finals. I played the beta, and I played when it came out. Unfortunately, it just didn't hook me in. It was one of those games where I, like, played it for a week or two with my friend group, and then we all kind of got bored of it and moved on. But it's a fun game. Just not a game I want to dedicate my time to specifically. Good, how about you? I'm doing fine. Doing fine. Speaking of friends, is anyone on tonight? No. All right. Flipping one right now, it's very good. I'm going to head out. Have fun knowing tomorrow will be the last day that Silksong doesn't exist. Have a good night, Hop. That is a crazy, it's a crazy thought. That the infinitely memed Silksong will be out in less than 48 hours. Wow. Just saying that makes me want to just 48-hour marathon Hollow Knight. I just want to launch Hollow Knight right now and marathon it until I complete it so that I can play Silksong when it comes out. Even though that's insane. That's insane. Okay, I'm silent for far too long. I've forgotten how to stream, man. I don't know how to fill the silence anymore. Honestly, have you seen the Balisong Traveler's live streams? He got 300,000 views. Yeah, I have. I have. I don't watch them, though. Love the videos, love the streams. My notifications have been off and on. Sorry for missing the last two. Dude, you're okay. You never have to apologize for missing a stream. Everyone has a life that is far more important than sitting and staring at my dumbass talking about things that don't really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. But thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. You know what, actually, speaking of the guy that commented, have you seen Balisong Traveler streams? Is he still... still doing that? I haven't looked at his channel in a long time. Flipping 20 feet high at a playground. Okay, well. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into that. His past 2 videos are flipping X feet high at a playground. Maybe don't do that. Yeah, he is still streaming, and he still gets the YouTube Shorts crazy view count spike that you can abuse. Not abuse, but that you can do is crazy. It is a crazy thing is crazy. Who could have guessed? It's just surprising to see how long it lasts, because like it ebbs and flows, and sometimes it'll just like decide, the algorithm will decide, okay, I'm done giving this person 100,000 views every stream, which is what I think happened to Ghost eventually, and then he stopped streaming as much. It's interesting how long it takes to get to that point. Have you flipped any Frankenforge blades recently? I've been liking the designs more and more. I want some thoughts on them. Not any of his recent ones. I flipped the Voltaic and the... I think the Voltaic was Frankenforge. And one of the other ones he made, I forget the name, and they were good, but I haven't flipped any of his recent ones. You know of any Bally makers in the UK or Europe? None that are currently active. There were a few in the past, like Plastic Balisong was one. But as far as I am aware, they are no longer active and no longer producing Balisongs, unfortunately. The EU is definitely an underrepresented group in the terms of Balisong makers. What would you say is the most underrated company? Underrated is tough because there's a lot of perfectly rated Balisong makers. Like Machinewise gets all the hype that I think it deserves. Squid gets the hype that I think it deserves. I'd say EPS, not because EPS is underrated, but because not many YouTubers focus in on EPS, if that makes sense. I need a haircut, man. This is pissing me off. Because EPS isn't underrated by any means. They're perfectly rated because everyone who tries one loves it, and everyone sings from the rooftops about how much they like EPS. But I don't see many videos about EPS products. So I definitely wouldn't call EPS underrated, but I would call them underexposed in the sense that people don't talk about them as much. As for actual underrated Bally companies, I mean, it really is tough because everyone that I could say definitely gets the attention they deserve. LDY, Flipforge, Zippy. I'd probably say Zippy, honestly. Zippy's one of those makers that I don't think gets all the appreciation he deserves. Even though he still does get quite a bit of appreciation. It's the problem with like asking who's underrated, because people who are underrated are usually just people who aren't talked about enough. Because if they were properly exposed, then they would be perfectly rated because people would know about them and they would know how good they are. Just trying to hear some thoughts. Yeah, I don't really have a good answer for that. I'd say Zippy. And if you want to count it, EPS. I know it's not a gay... I'm going to assume you meant Tay Flipper. Yeah, Tay Flipper, but it looks like one. What are you flipping? This is the Balisong that I made a video about today, actually. This is the NYBC Chimera, I think it's called. New York Bally Customs. Ideas for our next podcast? That's a good question. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just my personal interest in Balisongs, but I feel like there isn't a ton to talk about lately. Am I crazy for saying that? As time goes on, and again, this could literally just be because like my personal interest is in like a bit of an ebb. A bit of a rut right now, but I just feel like there isn't a ton to talk about lately. I always struggle to think how I'm gonna fill a hour-and-a-half podcast. The world's like slowed down. No new games, new Balisongs, new anything right now. I kind of feel the same. It feels like besides Transformers, most of my hobbies are in a bit of a rut. But I think it might just be my personal interest in those hobbies. I don't know. Because I think objectively there is stuff to talk about with Balisongs. It's just difficult for me to think of anything. It's also why the streams have been a little fewer and far between lately, because it's getting a little bit difficult to fill the space, I feel like. If we were going to Blade West, maybe? What do you mean? God, I love how even my foot touching the cable causes the camera to shake like that. That's really cool. One bad thing about high school is you can't carry a Balisong from a Squiddy to a Frank P. Yeah, don't bring your Balisongs to school. It will probably only get you in trouble. Oh, if we were going to Blade West, maybe we would have something to talk about. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Brandon, we had ideas for the next podcast episode, given the special gimmick that will be the next podcast episode, that I think will work great. But if we're looking for like actual topics to talk about, I'm struggling to really pinpoint one right now. Damn it, I'm just now remembering I had an idea for a Blade Bias video before I left for the weekend, and I do not remember what it was. I was like, I should write it down. Now I'll remember what it was, and I'm now remembering I don't remember what it was. Damn. Does college really care if you carry like a metal trainer or only plastic? I personally did run into issues. It depends where you are, really. I ran into issues with a security guard thinking that it was a real knife. once in the 4 years that I went to school. Other than that, not really, but I also kind of didn't flip a lot outside of my dorm room. Really depends. And it depends on the state that you're in. Balisongs can really get you into trouble in certain states or certain places. So just use a little bit of common sense and you should be fine. Just a little wee bit of common sense. Wait a minute. How long have these guys? These guys have been deactivated for a while now. I don't know why. I'm not worried about it, just wondering. My state is 100% legal as far as what my dad has told me. I mean, you should be fine, but yeah, just don't like flip it around a ton of people or like in, heaven forbid, in a class or something like that. You should be fine. Damn it. Wasn't worried about class or hallway. I was walking to another class outside or something. I could then. Whenever I did that, I didn't do it often because it just felt weird. But anytime I did that, I stuck to plastic. I stuck to something that was very obviously not threatening. Or like waiting at a bus stop or something. I stuck to something very obviously not an actual knife. So things like the Calico, the Squiddy, I guess nowadays like the Frank P. Oh man, 11:45 already. Ugh. Really want to flip my fly around campus so I could spin it with a hole in the blade to quickly show it's not a knife. Interesting tactic. Anytime I felt like people were looking a little too hard, I did like some wacky thing where I like grabbed the blade and did some trick with it. Or I would like grab it and like hit it against my hand, like drum against it. Just to subconsciously, you know, without words, show that it was not sharp. But I just really, I don't like flipping in public. It just feels too weird. Okay. It is 11:45. I have been streaming for an hour 15, double that because I had the Blade Bias live stream. So I think we're going to wrap it up here pretty soon. First Blade show and talks my family going next year. Excited to see what's new and upcoming. Hey, I hope you enjoy if you end up going. Brandon, we'll have to organize something if you're still here to play like Peak or something like that before I come down. Come on down to old Georgia. But, chat, I think that's going to do it. I think that, yeah, I think that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are. Have a good one. Make some good choices. Flip some good Balisongs. And I'll see you all in the next one. See you, Elite. Thank you for the kind words. Have a good night. Brandon, sounds good. I would love to play Peak sometime. It'd be fun to stream, too. It'd be a fun stream game. I really enjoyed streaming it that one night. Trying to do solo ascent. Maybe we'll have to do it again sometime. All right. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one. Later.